Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, deep in the jungle by the river, lived a girl called Taffy, and Taffy had a father. His name was Tegumai, which means river goes on forever. One day, Taffy and her father went fishing in the canoe. Now, Tegumai liked to tap the side of the canoe with his paddle and make all kinds of funny sounds, and Taffy loved to copy him. So as they sat there patiently waiting for fish to catch, Tegumai would go, "Yah, a carp took my bait," or "Ah, he has a big belly, fat and round," or "Shoo, be careful with the knife." And Taffy would repeat after him. And then, while watching a kingfisher diving down to the water, Taffy said, "Yah, yah, quick and fast like a flash of light." Tegumai nodded. "Yes, yah, yah," he agreed, "quick and fast like a flash of light." Then he said, "Next time it does this, you draw it just like this." So Taffy drew a little bird, and next time she saw a kingfisher, she scratched that picture on the side of the canoe. "Yah, yah," called Tegumai, and he saw the picture and smiled, and Taffy felt very clever and important too. Now, a little while later, they saw a huge log floating in the river, and Taffy shouted, "Look, look," and made a picture of it. "Good eye," said Tegumai. "So when you see it again, you scratch this." And Taffy did, and when she looked back, the log was gone. "See? I told you," Taffy said proudly. After a while, Tegumai got bored of making fish noises, so he made some other sounds like shh, like the wind, like bees, ch, like a monkey, and like a big snake. And Taffy made the pictures to match, and when they were all done, Taffy had a brilliant idea. She took 2 sticks and drew 2 pictures at opposite ends of the canoe, and then she made a sound in the middle, like a snake. Sss. And Tegumai understood what she meant because he knew the pictures that went with the sound. It was fun to be able to talk to each other without actually talking, and Taffy was very excited about this surprise game they played. They tried it again. Taffy drew a picture of a bird and a log and then scratched "Kingfisher going past" in between them. And when Tegumai saw it, he understood. He could tell that Taffy was very pleased with herself. And when they reached the shore, they continued making sounds and drawing pictures so they could understand each other even when they couldn't see each other. If Taffy was getting berries, she could show Tegumai by drawing a bush and scratching berries. When she went far away, Tegumai could scratch, "Come back, Taffy," and she would come running. If she was hiding and wanted him to come find her, she would scratch, "Come find me, Papa," along with a picture of herself. And when Tegumai heard and saw her message, he would do his best to come and find her. When they were apart, it was fun to send messages to each other. But Taffy and Tegumai wanted to be able to warn each other if there was danger. One day, a tiger came down to the river to drink some water. It crouched low in the tall grass and watched the canoe. Taffy was scared, but she quickly made a picture of the tiger and sent it down the river toward her mother, who was gathering wood on the other side. Her mother didn't know there was a tiger, but when she saw the picture, she understood. She dropped her basket and ran down to the river. Soon, Taffy and her father were in the canoe with her mother. "What does this mean?" she asked, pointing to the pictures. And Taffy explained, "That's a tiger. When I see that, I need to tell you." And now her mother knew what to do if she ever saw those marks. It wasn't long before Taffy and Tegumai had thought of lots of different sounds and pictures to go with them, and they even started leaving messages for each other around the village. Sometimes Taffy would leave a picture of a pot with "gurgle, gurgle" written beside it, meaning that dinner was almost ready. And sometimes she would leave a picture of clouds and the sound "brrr" to let Tegumai know that it might rain soon. And Tegumai would leave pictures of fish and write "splash, splash" beside them to show where he was going fishing. And when he came home, he would take Taffy's messages and put them inside the house. So when she came in, she could see what he had to say. One day, Taffy was sitting at the edge of the riverbank, thinking hard. "I wish we had a way to tell people that we're thinking of them," she said to her father. "You know, without having to meet them and talk to them, without even seeing them. I wish we could send them a picture that says, "Thinking of you." Tegumai thought about this. "Well," he said, "we already have pictures that say everything else. We could make one that says, 'Thinking of you,' too. That would be good." And Taffy thought about this. "Ah, but wouldn't it be better if we could make a picture that means not just thinking of you, but anything we want? Wouldn't that be even more amazing?" And Tegumai had to think about that one for a moment. "Oh," he said finally, "you mean like a letter?" And Taffy said, "Yes, like a letter." So Taffy and Tegumai spent the afternoon coming up with new pictures. At first, they used the pictures they'd already invented, putting them together in different ways. "We could put a picture of a bee next to a picture of a bush to make it mean bee in the bush," Tegumai suggested. "Or we could put the picture of the snake in front of the picture of the bird to make it mean snake eats bird," Taffy said. "Ooh, or we could put the picture of the log in front of the sun to make it mean log blocks the sun," Tegumai added. As the sun began to set, they realized they still needed a few more pictures, and Taffy remembered the sticks she had been using for counting. So she grabbed them and showed her father. "How about these? These are the ones I use for counting." And Tegumai saw how they could turn them into letters. "These work well," he said. "Let's start with this one. That's a lot of sounds you can make with that. How about we start with ah?" Taffy scratched a carp's mouth on the stick. "And then we have yo?" Tegumai scratched the tail of a fish on it. "And this one, that makes a snake sound, doesn't it?" "Shoo," Taffy said. And as the last rays of sunlight faded from the sky, Taffy and Tegumai continued scratching sounds on the sticks, inventing letters until they had pictures for every single sound they could think of. Taffy and Tegumai were very proud of their invention. They showed all their friends and family, and everyone was very excited to learn to read and write. And then they taught the people from the next village and the people beyond that, and soon every single person in the world knew how to read and write. Every language had its own unique pictures, but over thousands of years, these sound pictures changed. They changed from drawings to swirls to lines and dots. They changed from left to right and upside down and sideways. They changed from a picture of a bird to a picture of a beak to a squiggle. Kipling paused to smile. "And finally," he said, "they became the simple alphabet, A, B, C, D, that we use today." Then he grew quiet, lost in thought for a moment. "So you see," he finally said, "thousands of years ago by the Wagai River, Taffy and her father, Tegumai, played a little game with sounds and drawings, little pictures that could mean anything. And they invented the alphabet." He looked out at the jungle as if he could see Taffy and Tegumai playing by the riverbank. And although they lived a very long time ago, it feels like they lived only a little time ago by the Wagai River. Just a little time ago, a little time ago.